Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2025 Kia EV6 GT line. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric vehicle. The Kia EV6 has been on sale for several years, and I've driven it in a couple different configurations. Its top performance trim of the GT, but also the GT line, which is performance inspired, but not the full bore. But for 2025, they have updated the Kia EV6 in several interesting ways. You obviously get new headlights, some design changes, different wheels, but the big thing is that they've tweaked the suspension, they've tweaked the battery, and they've tweaked the charge port to now accept the North American standard port. So we'll be talking about all of that here today. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Lastly, huge thank you to Gerald Kia in Naperville for allowing me to borrow their Kia EV6 for today's video. You can browse their inventory down in the description below. But let's get back to that all-electric drivetrain. Well, like I said, that's what the EV6 has been all about. It's in the name, EV. I've always liked the drivetrain of the EV6. Do you need the GT in your life? No. It's flippin' fun, but this, I think, still offers a very solid punch, a very solid driving experience, and like I said, they've updated the suspension. I don't notice a huge difference. However, if you haven't been a fan of the suspension of the EV6 in the past, it might be time to come back and give it another try. This being the all-wheel drive model, it has about 270 miles of range, which is a little bit short of what I'd like to see of 300, but there is a rear-wheel drive long range available, and this makes 320 horsepower. But we're out here on the test track, so let's put that theory to the test. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a little while since I've been out here on the test track. I don't live around here anymore, but Kia of Naperville hasn't moved, so we are out here once again. Drive mode. Center of the steering wheel, we do have sport. I also don't know if they updated the interior sound or if I just didn't notice it, but left foot brake. It gets you. It gives you those roller coaster butterflies. I might be on the rock and roller coaster down in Orlando, Florida. That is a very, very fun experience. And so, like, yes, the GT exists and it makes more power and it's faster and crazier, but honestly, I don't think you really need that. It's available, it's cool, but I don't think it's necessary. So how does it feel to drive? Like I said, it drives like an EV. Most EVs drive in the same way. They deliver power in the same way. They're all instant, not anything new. You're not breaking any ground here. Visibility is pretty decent out the front. Out the back, it's not great. You do have this kind of really thick C-pillar and whatnot. But overall, it's a nice driving experience, and I don't dislike it. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a giant curved dash for my gauges. Now, directly in front of me, I do get my gauge cluster. I think Kia does a really, really good job with this. They make it very clear and concise while still offering a lot of information. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise, lane keep assist, and pages icon, and off to the right, we have our mode, volume, skip track, and favorites. We also do have that drive mode in the center of the steering wheel. Kind of an odd placement, but that's where Kia decided to put it. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent. We have our gauge dimmer switch, charge door release, rear tailgate release, and power parking brake. And moving out of the door, we have 2 levels of memory seats, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a infotainment display. This is connected to the gauge cluster for one nice swooping look, and I like that. We do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as we have our nice EV pages and entertainment. Very, very cool for that. We also have sports and weather. And of course, we do have a backup camera, 360 camera, and this interesting exterior looking camera. Very odd that Kia, Hyundai, Genesis do this camera. I don't find it very helpful, but it is something to note. Down below, we do have 2 climate control vents with the hazard switch, and then we have our climate controls slash radio controls. So you can only display either the radio controls or the climate controls at one time. I really don't like this system. I think it's rather clunky, and it just feels like every time I want to use it, it's not on the right setting. I'm sure there are times that there are, or that it is, but to me, it's the times that I remember that I'm like, it's not on temperature when I want radio. It's not on radio when I want temperature. Those sorts of things. So that can be kind of annoying. The EV6 debuted this when it debuted, and they seem to be sticking with it. Down below, we do have two USB-Cs, one for charging and media, or you could switch it to just charging. And moving up to the center console, we do have heated and ventilated seats. We have the heated steering wheel, power button, shifter, auto holding brake, camera view button, and parking sensors. Down below that, we also have a wireless charging pad. And off to the right, we have our cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Kia EV6 GT line. And unfortunately, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do get a center console and the seats. The seats have been comfortable. As I said, they are heated, ventilated, power, and memory, so I enjoy all of those very nice features. I also think that they look pretty presentable. They look modern, they look hip, and that's something that's very important in a modern car. So, very, very nice to see that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2025 Kia EV6 GT line, and a couple of things to note. I fit back here pretty well. My knees are not hitting the seat in front of me. My head's not hitting the ceiling. Now, in the last EV6 video I did, I told the same story that I went to a friend's wedding and I had 4 burly Illinois State Police officers in this car, and we all fit fine. So that was definitely nice to see. We do have heated seats back here. Very nice to have that option. Of course, power windows. We have vents in the B pillars, and we do get center console, 2 cup holders. Nothing really in the center, but that's okay. We have the vents, we have the cup holders. That's all you need. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the EV6, and I apologize if it's windy. We're actually under a wind advisory here in Naperville today. We do have a power tailgate just like that. Nothing really changes back here from the previous year EV6. We still have a 12-volt outlet. We have releases for the second row of seats off to the left and right, and we do get some storage space down here, which is nice to see. So you get a little bit there. Otherwise, pretty decent opening in the back of the EV6, so very, very happy to see that. We do, of course, also have the frunk up at the front of the EV6. Now, prepare to be underwhelmed. There it is. That's all the space that you get. So it's the same in the Ioniq 5. It's the same in the Genesis GV60. So there you go. Now we got to talk about the looks, and a couple of things to note. First of all, this is updated for the 2025 model year. New front fascia for sure. That was very noticeable to me. The back kind of looks pretty much the same. I like the overall look of it. I really, really do. I think the EV6 has always looked pretty good. It feels like they changed something about the handles, but I can't really put my finger on what. But overall, it's a healthy refresh. This is a mid-cycle refresh. That is an industry term that basically when the car is a couple years old, they refresh it, add some new tech, change the way it looks just a little bit to kind of keep buyers interested for another 3, 4, 5, 6 years before they do a completely new generation. So this is probably about the halfway point at the first generation EV6. So I'm happy to see those updates. The biggest of which is that North American standard outlet now, or better known to me and everyone else in the world, that is the Tesla charger. That has been adopted as the Tesla style charger, so you could charge this at Tesla charging ports. You could also get an adapter for the standard charge point chargers. So if you have one at home, you can get an adapter. It'll be certified, it'll work well, so no worries there. You don't have to get a new charger. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Kia EV6 from 2025? Well, in all honesty, there's nothing really too crazy about it. I still think that the EV6 is a great car. It's fast, it looks good, it has good tech, and while I don't like the radio/climate controls, I can work around that. I think that the refresh did go well. Kia has been very, very good about their refreshes. They add a little thing here, they add a little thing there without losing the heart and soul or what made the EV6 so good. This still drives like the EV6, just a little bit better. It still looks like an EV6, just a little bit better. The tech in here feels like an EV6, just, say it with me, a little bit better. So I like everything that's done to it. I just wanted to make this video to kind of re-up, say, hey, there is this new version of the EV6 available. If you liked the EV6 in the past, I think this is definitely worth a second look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Gerald Kia in Naperville for letting me borrow their EV6 for today's video. They have been absolutely wonderful to work with. I always like working with Gerald Kia. They have amazing warranties and amazing staff, and they just updated their facilities. They have way more work bays. They have crazy numbers of inventory, and they are absolutely fantastic. So go check them out with the link down in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.